Hello and welcome to Arena PA for the 2023 Tinicum Open Final Round. This tournament is run by BS Upshot Tournament and Shops, and its coverage is presented to you by Cosmic Disc Golf, D-Town Disc Golf, and Reaper Disc Supply. I'm Dave Oster to bring you through the final round today. Almost completely new lead card. We're starting off with Jacob Arnold, followed by Clarke Rynkiewicz. Returning from the first round is Keller, and another player who's been in our coverage before, Panna. All from Pennsylvania, local area. I'm sure they've played this course before, which is why they are on the lead card. Heading into hole 1, par 3, 404 feet. A couple of trees to miss, different gaps you can take. Basket is wide out in the open with a little bit of an uphill slope at the end. Hard to get all the way there. If you do, there's not much in the way. But other than that, it's easy par. Just get out into the field and lay up. So Jacob, I think he might have clipped off a tree and kicked way out into the field, but he'll still have a okay attempt getting up and down. Clarke turned it over a bit too much, caught an early tree. Tyler going to show us the forehand. Just got to get it flip up the flat, maybe even a little bit of a flex. This is maybe just a bit too much of a flex, but again, just going out into the open field. So, up and down for par should be pretty easy. Michael also going to go with the forehand. Ooh, very flippy looking disc. Left his hand on hyzer, but flipped all the way over. Got a lot of distance. So, we're going to see 4 pretty similar shots, just trying to get up and down to start this round with a par. Clarke with the most obstructed look, but not too far off, kind of straight towards the basket, and done so well. Our current leader Jacob doing what he has to do, puts it right next to the basket. Michael almost pin high looking like from that angle, but just way far out in the field. Leaves maybe a little bit of a tester, but we'll see how he does with that. And Tyler with the closest and easiest upshot. Clarke will be up first. Oh, pretty low, but pretty right side. Just barely trickles out. Not the way you want to start, obviously. But 17 holes to go. Trying to catch Jacob. We spoke a little bit on the first round about players never being on coverage before. A little bit of nerves. We actually saw Tyler miss a similar length putt. Sorry to bring that up, but just an example of how sometimes being on camera does add to the nerves. Hole 2, again, this is the short pin. The hole is actually a par 4, continues about another 200 feet past that pin. Continuing in the woods, players can pick a variety of few different lines through the woods or go wide out to the left. There is an OB road all along the right side. Jacob got a decent way down before catching a tree, so he might still have an opportunity to get a birdie. Tyler gets all the way through cleanly into an ideal landing spot. Top of the hill, just short of the road. If you're real close to the road, you're going to have probably less than 200 feet in. Michael going to take the wide gap, really making the hole a lot longer than 534 feet. But kind of setting yourself up for a cleaner approach on your second shot. So if you have the distance, maybe a good play. And this is another play. Unfortunately, Clarke getting caught up in the trees, but that was a backhand roller. Looks like he might be setting it up again. He does so. Needs to start falling over. Not quite. But still not a bad spot. You should be able to get up down from there.
Perfect or just so close. Yeah.
Jacob kicked out to a pretty clean spot. See how much of an arm he has, and quite a good one, I'd say. That was from out of position to be pretty good, able to get an opportunity for his birdie from back there. Oh, when he turfed it. Best drive, not able to take advantage of being able to see the basket. Not common from everybody here. Michael, similar distance, but further out. Just kind of need to have that check up in time. Missed the one or two trees there. And you have a birdie putt. As you can see, if Clarke's roller just turned over, it could have gained momentum down that hill. Maybe even able to save that birdie after catching an early tree. But just a bit too wide. And Tyler maybe trying to bring it in basket height. Will go a little long. And he'll have some work. Save his par after the best drive off the tee. This is to save Clarke's par. Trying to take it wide and swing it in there. Not quite enough. And Jacob, after a great second drive for birdie, just tickles a couple chains left side. And nice birdie for Michael. Plays it the long way, able to still capitalize.
Yes, Tyler. My bad. I didn't realize you were out there.
And a good par save for Tyler. Jacob with a little bit of work after he chained out left side. Able to limit the damage. And one more tap in before we head over to hole 3. Hole 3 is a par 3 at 402 feet, slightly downhill. Trees beyond the basket as well as an out-of-bounds road along the right side. The only trees that may actually come into play is if you take a wide backhand, right-hand hyzer. Other than that, just pick whatever disc you can throw 400 feet and try to get it there. And this is that wide hyzer that you need to worry about. Actually, maybe needs the trees to slow him down. I was going straight towards the road. Maybe thankful that these big evergreen trees were still there. Jacob flips it up, maybe a little bit too much. Starts to come back. Gets to the tree line, but that's in the circle. Tyler going more of the left to right, maybe adjusting for the apparent headwind that was affected the first two discs, but didn't adjust the angle correctly. Clarke looking like doing a little bit better job, gets the stability right, maybe gets to 40 feet. Little short, little right for Tyler there. Would have wanted to put it real close after coming up a little short on the drive. Nice low ceiling, uphill shot for Michael. It's a lot harder than you'd want it to be from that distance. And great putt from Ryan. More of kind of a little flick throw in. A little wrist flick, not a forehand. To to get one of those strokes back for Clarke. A little low for Jacob. And now just a couple of par tap-ins. So crossing the street over to hole 4, par 4, 553 feet. A couple of different lines you can take through the plethora of trees. OB road all the way along the right side. There's also a flagged out of bounds on the left side. Pretty much want to get about to that crossing road, which does not play as out of bounds, and then find yourself a line through the trees down to the basket. And it looks like Clarke's going for the flex line. Flex is a bit too much, is not going to come back over onto this side of the road. It is road and across, so. Oh. And another out of bounds. Unfortunately, tree kick could have gone left. Going right for him. Jacob, maybe a fortunate tree kick. It does kind of start curving to the left as you get up and over the hill, so maybe a fortunate stop for him. Tyler going up the middle line, pretty identical to what we saw him throw in the first round, and pretty identical spot, as you would imagine.
When you hit the tree, I was going to say brutality. And I forgot I was still
So after seeing, I think, if I'm not incorrect, 0 out of bounds strokes in the first round. You see 2 in one hole on this, and this needs to come back over the road. Does so pretty well, but actually needs to slow down and comes all the way back across the fairway and out of bounds. So literally on cue, as I was saying, we hadn't seen any OB in the first round. Now 3 on one hole. Clarke comes back in, not quite far enough, but probably satisfied to be safe. Jacob also going over the road. Oh, catching the tree. And another out of bounds. Conditions pretty much the same. Maybe a slight heavier breeze, if anything, than the first round, but this hole playing much tougher, at least for our lead card in the feature card first round. Playing as the second hardest this round, where it was more towards the middle on the first round, so results certainly different. Maybe players playing a little bit more aggressive as they're more comfortable on this second round, trying to push for position, but playing almost a quarter stroke harder than this morning. Tyler in a similar position to where he made a putt last round, and just a little bit short. And good putt to, again, limit the damage to just a single bogey. Michael with unfortunate 2 out of bounds strokes will be taking the double. Was the closest to Jacob, and now will be trying to battle back into second. Tyler staying or getting to within 2 strokes of the lead with that par there. On to hole 5, par 3, 254 feet. We're looking at the long pin position. We're actually playing to the one a little bit shorter, a little bit further to the right. Is again playing as the easiest hole in the course, so expect to see some better scoring here than the last hole. And Tyler parking it, putting it to 3 feet. That will certainly be a drop in for him. See if the rest of these guys can match. It's looking good so far. Needs to swing a bit more. Kind of got a counter skip, but still maybe 20, 25 feet. Jacob going more. Looked like he was going straight at it, but it was actually, the line was a little bit too far right. So he'll have a long look for his birdie, maybe circle's edge. And that looked like too much hyzer out of the hand for Michael. He'll be up on top of the hill, left side.
They do the same thing every time.
Satisfied to just get the par after the errant tee shot. Jacob looks like he's giving it a bid and nails it. Great putt for Jacob from maybe 40 feet, 35 at least, to extend his lead for the moment. And that direct spin putt for Clarke does it again. A little bit left side, but able to stay in. And Tyler also staying within 2 with that tap-in birdie there. We'll head over to hole 6, par 3, 281 feet, says PDGA. I think it might be a bit further than that, especially the line you have to throw. Big wide right-hand backhand hyzer getting into the wood line on the left. I believe the property line past to the left is out of bounds. Mistake is certainly to just go a bit too straight or not swing back enough. We saw first round, maybe a bit of a headwind, turning discs over, going way out into the field. That's about your average. I think part of the play is that the tee pad is so close to the tree line, you don't want to throw something too straight and have it catch something and fall early. So flexing it away from the tree line to try to get it more space and then finish late is the play, but with a little bit of breeze, we see the trees there. Just not able to get it to come all the way back, as we see Clarke goes the pure hyzer, but comes up short. It does look like it clears out a little bit in there as you get closer to the basket, so he may still have a look at it. And this is kind of more of the ideal aggressive line, kind of almost flat, but moving left to right almost the whole way. It's actually a little bit too flat. A little bit more hyzer, that would have been probably within the circle. And again, a little bit of a flex on it out of the hand keeps it from getting all the way in there. But that's pretty good in terms of a safe play. Could give it a bid from there if you'd like. Clarke's looking like he's got a forehand roller coming out of the woods. It's looking good. Needs to sit down. Yeah. A little bit of obstructed by that tree, but 20, 22 feet, something like that. Tyler. Oh, I thought that was in. I was going to say that he was doing that over and over again in the first round, making a few, hitting a lot of metal, but just a little short there. Same as Jacob, catching a cage. And Michael with the best look at it, just leaving a little bit low and right. Good par save for Clarke. Nice forehand roller to get out of there, and then a decent putt to save it. Jacob with a similar distance, looking like a little awkward footing, having a shot of that log. See if he can save his par. And just very casual, very confident putt. Kind of similar to Clarke. I think Clarke's might come in with a little bit more speed. Taps in his par, and we'll move over to hole 7. Par 4, 377 feet, going past our totem friend. Very tight line going the way the drone's flying. Kind of maneuver to find your way through. This is the short pin. We're playing a par 4 to the long pin. About 150 feet past that. Anywhere near that short pin is a great first shot. Kind of opens up a little bit after that, but it really is very tight. As you can see, Tyler trying to go vertical there and kind of flatten it out and gliding to the right more than he wanted to. Ooh, Clarke almost getting it to flex far enough to get over to that more open right side, but winding up kicking pretty far right. That looks like more, a little too much hyzer, but that was the straight line, the pure line people trying to play. Very tight, but the backhand flip up hyzer definitely works, or this kind of wider line. And everybody catching the tree. As you can see, this definitely coming up as a difficult hole. We did see some big putts in the first round, so we'll see if these guys can repeat. And similar spot to one that we saw, I believe, by Rob last round. Little wide right for Jacob, catching another tree. As you can see, there are a lot of trees in this hole. Certainly difficult. Reason why there's a under 400 foot par 4. Good challenge. Obviously a lot of open holes in this course, but good mix of these tight wooded holes as well.
Oh, man.
And narrowly catching that tree. Just missed that. Looked like it would have been
That was close.
pretty good. And Tyler very close to this basket. Almost having to shorten his swing up not to hit his hand on it. But seems to not be an issue. I'll have a lot easier putt this round than he did last time, so. And Jacob a similar one. Can we see another long bid? Oh, it was looking good. Started fading just a bit early. Michael with the distance that we saw. Oh, just tickling the chains. Great putt for Clarke. This hole coming in at 0.29 strokes under par in the first round. Fourth easiest. But then this round coming in just a tenth of a stroke under par at the sixth hardest. So players changing their decision making, trying to play a little bit more aggressive. Seems to be changing up how these holes are playing. These par 4s are playing a bit more aggressive, so see how that winds up affecting the results as we move on to hole 8. Par 3, 215 feet, another one in the woods, a lot of tight lines, a couple different options. Backhand, you can kind of go straight with a little drift. You can take a forehand a bit wider, and then there's also the big backhand kind of over the bushes line. Right there we're looking at, it seems to be kind of the straightest you can go. Clarke catching early tree, you heard him say it was just kind of a bad line. Maybe just bad decision to try to go for that one, and straight past the basket. Almost hitting catch Cam Anthony there, but kind of a backstop, so still able to run it and have a pretty short birdie putt. And Michael released it on the line of that tree, right off his hand. You could see he was heading right towards it. a little wide. Decent tree kick. Definitely stopped it. Kicked it back towards the basket, but Clarke is running it from everywhere. He knows he's only a couple strokes back from Jacob, who's playing fairly well, maintaining the lead. 1 stroke back from this man right here, who loves to make these putts. Not that time, but still pretty close here at the top. And a little less close now. Jacob making that, we call it a comebacker as he went past the basket, but just for birdie. Oh no. Just a bit high for Clarke. It's going to be a bogey. You can see and hear the frustration from him, knowing that that's a 2-stroke swing away from Jacob. Almost kicking back out, but staying just inside the chains. Onto the final hole here on the front 9. Par 3, 185 feet. Going straight to these 2 trees guarding the basket. It's a pretty tight line. Difficult despite only being 185 feet. I want to do about that. Yeah. Pretty good. Just need to go straight through, and with a little bit finish on towards the left, and you'll be near it. Obviously, you just have to hit the line and miss everything within it. This is looking a little early. Please maybe circle's edge. Oh. Michael can't quite catch a break right now. Coming out just a little bit late seeming on a lot of his throws last couple holes. See if he can make that correction. He's still a few strokes away from everybody with 9 holes to play. And gets through everything and winds up having a putt within the circle. And wrapping around the basket. Michael should be able to save his par from there. Tyler just a bit right. Hitting metal again. Yep. Seeing, I don't know if he's referring to his disc there, or maybe the basket top is a little bit leaning. Either way, he landed right next to the basket. He'll be tapping his par. Great putt after maybe a fortunate line for Clarke. Oh. Michael's just a little bit off right now. Maybe losing some of the confidence that he had. He started off hot. He got up into second place, a couple of strokes back from Jacob. But, something needs to turn around for him to catch this man. So, as Tyler taps in for his par, that is it for the front 9 here, the final round of the Tinicum Open 2023. Shot of the round contender so far. Best shot of the round is Tyler himself, putting it underneath the basket on hole 5. Thanks to our supporting sponsors as well as our Patreon family. Cannot do this without your support, so thank you very much. Come on back to the final 9 holes of this tournament from Tinicum Park in Arena, Pennsylvania.